And today, I'm going to share with you my favorite hack for getting shippers using LinkedIn. All right. So it's a 4-part framework that I'm going to share with you. I'm going to walk you through that framework, and then I'm going to give you a link at the end where you can actually download a cheat sheet that's going to walk you through and help you with this process. That means you don't have to scribble down a bunch of notes. All right. So here we go, guys. Today's training, the topic I want to share with you today is my favorite hack for getting shippers with LinkedIn. All right. Now, for those of you that don't know what LinkedIn is, because I don't know where you're all starting in this journey, LinkedIn is the world's largest professional networking site. It's like a social media site for professionals. So these are all business people, personalities, CEOs, business owners, people that are in business that are going to that platform for one of a variety of reasons. Either they're looking to hire somebody or get hired. They are consuming content that's relevant to their target market and doing the same things that people do on Facebook, but in a business format, right? So it's very different than Facebook, but there's some similarities, okay? But it's much more professional, and the topics and conversations tend to be much more business oriented. So if you're not familiar with LinkedIn, you can sign up for a free account. You can do that. Just go over to linkedin.com and you can get signed up. It's a great way to meet and connect with shippers and to generate leads and business for your freight brokerage or freight agency. As a matter of fact, in my freight brokerage, it became the number one source for generating new revenue. We generated well over $20 million a year in annual recurring revenue from LinkedIn alone, right? So I want to share with you just a small part of that today. So I'm going to share with you a 4-part framework, okay? And this framework is going to help you to get more shippers, even if you're brand new on LinkedIn, okay? So here we go. I see people going on LinkedIn and thinking the number one thing they think is that if I put up a LinkedIn profile, people are going to find me, and then they're going to reach out to me and ask me to become their freight broker or freight agent. That's not going to happen. Okay, that's typically not going to happen, right? Especially when you're brand new to the platform. So what you have to do, all right, is you have to find those people. And I'm going to share with you a simple way that you can really start having conversations with your target market. Here's how it works. Step number 1, find an influencer in your niche. So for example, if you're a freight broker in the steel niche or the produce niche or the oil and gas niche or the bottled beverage niche or whatever niche or industry you're focusing on for your freight brokerage or freight agency, what I want you to do is I want you to find an influencer within that niche. And what I mean by an influencer is someone who has a significant following because their thoughts and their content and their information that they're putting out on LinkedIn gets high engagement, meaning, when you put a post out, it might, you can either put a post out on social media and you hear crickets and nobody engages with it. Nobody likes, comments, or shares it. Or you can put content out on LinkedIn that gets hundreds or thousands of comments and shares and likes. So what you want to do is you want to find an influencer, someone who has a following and has a voice and is looked at as an influencer in your niche. Again, that can be based on whatever industry you're in. One of the fastest and easiest ways to identify those people is to search LinkedIn using hashtags. So the hashtag is that #. You see it a lot on Twitter. You see it on Facebook and different platforms, social media platforms. LinkedIn has hashtags as well, and you can search those hashtags. So if you're in the steel industry, you would search hashtag steel industry or something related to steel, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to see a bunch of content there. You're going to see a bunch of posts from people that are all over the world. Some of those posts are going to have 0 likes, 0 comments, 0 shares, okay? Others are going to have hundreds or thousands of engagements. You want to gravitate to the posts that have hundreds or thousands of engagements. Those are the people that have the most influence because their voice has the widest, spreads the widest, and has the biggest impact. So you'll find the person that is posting that content. And then what you will do, you're going to find those people, and then you're going to go through, you're going to see their profile, and you're going to go through the different posts that they've put on LinkedIn. And then you're going to find high engagement content. So the content that they're posting that gets the most engagement, the most likes, comments, and shares. Okay. So first is find the influencer. Second step is to go through their content and find the high engagement content, because not every one of their posts is going to be high engagement, but you're going to find that, they're going to get a significant amount of engagement on a lot of their posts, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go into that post because it's going to be relevant to that steel industry or relevant to whatever your niche is. And you're going to write a meaningful, relevant, and compelling comment in their post. Okay. So for example, let's just take a hypothetical. Say somebody posted something about how the war in Ukraine is impacting the steel industry. Just a hypothetical, right? They're putting some sort of a post out there or content relevant to that. Obviously, it's very newsworthy, so it's probably going to get a lot of engagement. What you would do is you would write a meaningful, relevant, and compelling comment in below their content, right? In reference to their exact post. Now, what that does is a couple of things. Number one, it allows you to express your opinion, right? Because this is an opinion piece, right? So you're gonna express your opinion about that post or about that topic, right? And again, we don't want to bring a lot of politics into this. We want to focus on more non-political type content, of course. And that might not have been the greatest example, but ultimately, you then create a very relevant and compelling comment. And what it does is, number one, the person who posted that is going to see your comment. And everybody else who reads the comments is going to see your comment. So what's going to happen is you are going to start positioning yourself as a voice in that conversation. So you took an influencer and now you've put yourself on their same playing field, right? Someone who gets hundreds of thousands of engagements per post. Now you are on the same page as them. So it automatically raises your stature, right? So that's the first thing. Or that's the second thing. So step number one, find the influencer. Step number two, comment on high engaging posts, right? High engaging content, right? And then step number three is there are going to be a bunch of people within that post that are going to be engaging. They're going to be liking, they're going to be commenting, particularly the people that are commenting and liking that post. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to connect with those engagers. I call those people engagers because they actually didn't just look at the content, they actually took the time to engage. So what you're going to do is you're going to send a custom connection request. You're going to connect with the people that are engaging with that content. And the easiest way to do that is to simply reference the content that you both commented on or you engaged with or that you both liked, right? So you reference that as a point of common interest, right? Because it's going to be very timely. It's not something they would have commented on months ago. It's something they will have commented on probably in the last 24, 36, 48 hours. And so it's going to be very relevant to them. It's going to be very contextual to where they are today. And then there's going to be a very high likelihood that they're going to connect with you. Now, some of those people might not be a part of your target market, but you particularly want to find people that are a part of your target market, people that are potential prospects for your business, all right? So you're going to send a connection request to them referencing that piece of content. That's number three. And then step number four, the key is once they connect with you, once they accept your connection request on LinkedIn, here's all you want to do. Very, very simple. Continue the conversation in a non-salesy format. In a non-salesy way. What you don't want to do as soon as they accept your connection request is beat them over the head with your pitch and tell them how great you are and that you want to jump on a call and you want to start moving their freight. That's the absolute opposite of what you want to do. What I suggest is continue the conversation and ask a compelling question or do something to continue the conversation that's relevant to the content that you both engaged with that we're talking about in that post or something that's very relevant to any sales intelligence that you've been able to gather from their profile, because you will have been able to look at their profile on LinkedIn. You'll know the school they went to. You know how long they've worked for their company. You'll know influencers that they follow. You'll know their geography. You'll know groups they belong to. So you'll be able to gather a bunch of sales intelligence. And what you want to do is you want to continue that conversation either with something that's very relevant and contextual to the post itself that you have in common, and or some form of sales intelligence that you gather. Okay. That's going to, number one, you have found a lead, you've connected with a potential prospect, and now you've started a conversation about something that's relevant to not only them, but to you. And that's the starting point. Now, again, these guys are not asking you for a freight quote. These guys are not asking you to set up a meeting, but you should be able to turn that basic conversation into a one-on-one relationship that you can then pivot now or later into a phone call or a possible opportunity to work with them down the road. So what we're doing is we're developing a network of connections that can potentially buy for us, but we're having an interesting and compelling conversation that's not salesy. The biggest problem with people on LinkedIn is that as soon as somebody connects with them, they bring out their hammer, their Thor hammer, which I'm going to share with you real quick. They bring out their hammer and they beat them over the head with their pitch, right? Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So you can't beat them over the head with your pitch. What you have to do is you have to start a meaningful conversation. It's very important that you understand that, right? It's not speed dating, right? This is not Tinder. You have to take your time. You have to slow things down a little bit. So that's the 4-part process that I wanted to share with you today, how you can tap into the influence of people within your niche and then start connecting, and engaging with people that could potentially be your clients, right? So that's my favorite hack, because it doesn't matter whether you're day one on LinkedIn or you've been on LinkedIn for years. Very few people know about this hack. And the ones that don't do it very well, but the ones that do it well are absolutely killing it. They're one of their primary sources for starting conversations with people in their niche. And then they convert those into hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, depending upon the type of product or service that you are selling. And in the freight brokerage industry, we all know the key to this business is the lifetime value of a shipper. A small shipper, a small shipper lifetime value, you might be doing $250,000 to $500,000, the lifetime value of that client. So it's a very high lifetime value. You don't have to have hundreds of shippers in order to develop and have an amazing income. Oh, by the way, here, I'm going to give you a link. Sorry about that. I'm going to give you a link. Okay, so here is all right, here it is. All right, so I'm actually going to change. Yeah, it's freightbrokerbootcamp.com/LI hack. LI hack. If you go there, you're going to be able to enter your email and you'll be able to download the cheat sheet. That cheat sheet is going to walk through all that 4-part framework and is going to clarify and going to kind of solidify that exact process that I just talked about. Right? So you can get it. It's absolutely free. You put your email in, you'll be able to download it for free. You can print it out. You can use it any way you want. And ultimately, it's kind of a roadmap, a little bit of a roadmap for you to try to help you with your LinkedIn marketing efforts. Okay. Truly appreciate you guys being here. If you're curious about becoming a freight broker or a freight agent, check out freightbrokerbootcamp.com. Again, we've trained over 10,000 students, been in business over a decade, and we offer a 60-day 100% unconditional money back guarantee if for any reason you're not happy. So check that out at freightbrokerbootcamp.com.